Welcome back, Red Zone DFS. We are here on Thursday afternoon. Man, feels good to be here. College football is back in less than 48 hours. Man, how good does it feel to say that? It has been a long off season. DraftKings has their first slate coming out for Saturday morning, which is what I'm going to run through here. Man, I'm so pumped. So, without further ado, I put out my article a little bit earlier today and just want to dive in a little bit and go through some of my plays, some of the games themselves, give a quick hitting overview. Obviously, it's just a smaller 3-game slate. So, if you need a little bit of a breakdown, want to wet your beak a little bit before, the first main slate of the year, which is next weekend, which we have a ton of games. Pretty much everyone goes live then this is a great slate to kind of get your feet wet and get back into the mix. So let's get to it. So Saturday morning, we have kicking off first things first, Nebraska and Illinois. Nebraska is now a 6.5-point spread, which I did take this morning, in a 55-point over. Then followed up, we have UConn going to Fresno State, which Fresno is a 27.5-point favorite with a 63 over under. And then we wrap up the 3-game slate with Hawaii and UCLA. UCLA is currently a 17.5-point favorite and a 68 over under, which leads the slate, obviously. So, just running through here kind of my plays if you didn't have a chance to look at the article. And let's rock and roll. So, first thing to know, obviously, with college football, I put out my preview article last week. We really need to rely on what other people are saying about depth charts and what's going on. Especially college football, there is a lot of transition, right? There's a lot of people in the transfer portal now. You got JC guys coming in, true freshmen starting early, grad transfers, everything. So we are going to see a whole different ball game, whole different team than what we saw last year, especially with the COVID and like the Pac-12 and the abbreviated season. So just be on your toes. I would not play super heavy this weekend, possibly next weekend, but just be ready to see some stuff that you're not prepared for. Beat writers are wrong all the time. Coaches will not tip their hand early. Everyone is manic about having that competitive advantage. Don't tell them about this secret. Don't let out that this guy's going to start. So we can give our best guess. We think we know what's going to go on. But as I said, we're going to see a lot of different stuff here. So let's jump to it. Quarterback position. So at the top, we have Jake Hayner, 9,700 for Fresno State. Look, they're a huge favorite. They should blow UConn out. Bulldogs should smash them. It's a hefty price tag, top of the slate, but can he get us 3/4 out of that? Maybe a half where they get up, 40-7, something like that. We don't know. We don't know first game of the year if they're going to play their starters in blowout situation, if they're going to kind of hold back and reserve. Best guess. We're not sure. So the question you have to ask yourself is, do you think Jake Hayner can hit value in that short a period of time? Because chances are he's not going to get 4 quarters here. They should blow these guys out. I still really like him. He's listed as a core play for me. I will have some exposure. Absolutely. Because if Fresno they do put up 50, 60 points and Hayner throws 4, 5, 6 touchdowns, and you don't have them, that's going to be kind of an issue. Next up, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 8,500. Another quarterback where we get the pass and the running threat here, which we do love. Chip Kelly's offense is all predicated having that playmaker at that position. DTR has shown that he can be that guy. He is expensive, but again, he can rack up points very quickly for you. Definitely a core play for me. I will have quite a bit of him in the UCLA offense against Hawaii. Next up, I have Chavon Cordero, 7,500 for Hawaii. Look, another dual threat guy. He threw 14 touchdowns last year, ran in 7. He looks to build off a solid year and take the next step, which is what I love to see. Same thing as DTR, second year in the system. For a spread offense is usually a really good sign for a quarterback. I don't think UCLA's defense, even though they have a lot of returning players, who knows, right? I don't expect them to completely shut down Hawaii. So, I think definitely 7,500. If they are trailing, this guy's going to put up some numbers for you. So another core play for me. And I have listed here at 6,800, kind of my wild card of the day, Adrian Martinez. Look, he's a very volatile player. Be very clear. He's going to have games where he's going to frustrate the hell out of you. He's going to have some games where he puts up 100 yards rushing, 200 passing, 4 touchdowns. It could go either way, but this is why we play tournaments and GPPs, right? I think it's a relatively soft matchup versus Illinois. It's going to take them a few years to turn around that program with Big Man now coaching out there. So we should see a pretty good game from Adrian Martinez. The big reason, which I'll get to here in a little bit, is he's got a few new weapons at Nebraska, a few transfers at receiver that I really like, and their running back situation seems to have been improved, which I'll also touch on. So the question you have to ask yourself is Scott Frost dead man walking out there in Nebraska, or is he going to make a statement week 1 and kind of year 3 be the magic year? So I will have some Adrian Martinez. I don't know if he's a core play necessarily for me, but I do like him. Running back, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going with what I know for the most part at this position. Rodney Rivers sits up top. Same thing as Hayner, right? He handled the bulk of the touches last year. He's going to lead the backfield again. They are a 27-point favorite, though. So if they put up 3-4 touchdowns early, are they going to waste this kid, running the ball and risk injury or something like that? I don't know. I still like him. I still know he's going to be the bell cow. And there's just a lot of uncertainty at this position on the small slate. So I'll still probably roll with him, but just, don't be surprised if they're up 4 touchdowns at halftime and he starts splitting the workload. Calvin Turner for Hawaii next. Look, I don't know where he's going to play necessarily. Turner, he should get some carries and targets. He's listed as a running back on DraftKings, but he's a wide receiver on Hawaii's depth chart. So he's going to play all over the place, utility type guy. They're going to try to find the way to get him the ball. So that's all I care about. That's what I like. 6,400. This is a kid that can definitely hit value for you. He's going to be an absolute core play for me on Saturday. Britton Brown. Look, 5,600 is a great price for him. I think he is the starter there at UCLA. He should be the clear number 1. Although I don't know how I don't know how to say his name, but Zach Charbonnet from Michigan transfer, what's going to happen there? That's one of those situations we just don't know, right? We don't know what Chikelli's going to go 50-50 split, or who really knows. But I still like him. He's still in a good spot, but I probably wouldn't go all in on this guy. Chase Brown at Illinois is 5,000. Look, Illinois, their shot here is they're going to run the game. I don't think their passing game is very explosive. He is going to get last year he got about 15, 20 carries a game. So we should see probably a small increase, I would think there. 5K is not a bad price for him. I'll have a little bit of Chase Brown, but obviously not overweight there. My sneaky play of the day is going to be Nebraska running back Gabe Ervin Jr. Look, they have been very coy about what they're going to do at the running back position here. You could see 3-4 guys get reps. They're going to try to figure out who their bell cow for the season is going to be. All reports are this guy, Gabe Ervin, is going to be the prediction. That's who people are predicting. He's a true freshman who started and enrolled early at Nebraska. All signs point to this guy being really electric, really just awesome all the way around. They think he could be a 3-down back. Hopefully he's the guy who kind of separates himself, and this is the game where he can break off a few long runs or something and do that. 4,100, I'm more than happy to take a few shots on this kid. The other running backs are fine, but again, we could see 5 carries from 4 different guys, or we could see one guy wrap up 18 and the rest get 3. We really don't know. This is definitely a wild card GPP only play. But I like it. That's where I'm rolling. Wide receiver, look, a lot of options as always. It's college football. Everyone runs the spread now. I tried to boil it down as best I could. Up top, Cropper at Fresno State's the number 1 in Fresno. So if you're going to roll with Hayner in that passing game, he's definitely a guy you need to get in there. Kyle Phillips at UCLA, he should be receiver 1 for these guys this year. He dominated the target share in their short season last year. The results didn't really match up to the targets that he got, which makes me a little bit nervous. But hopefully, again, second year in the offense, they have a real off season and prep for the game. he should be a guy who's definitely in the mix and getting some volume at that receiver position, which is what we're looking for. Below that, Zane Pope, 6,700 at Fresno. This one's a little bit interesting. He led Fresno in receiving 2 years ago, but last year he broke a collarbone, and so he missed most of the season, only played in one game. He should return as a main target for Fresno State. So if you want to get a little bit different and weird, I don't think a lot of people are going to go to Zane Pope. 6,700, could be a way to separate yourself. Jared Smart, Hawaii. Look, he's a returning leading receiver for these guys. He got a good amount of targets and should put up good numbers. 6,200 if he is truly their number one. I don't mind it at all. I do like Calvin Turner a little bit better, but this is a guy who should be heavily involved in the offense this year. Greg Dolcich, he's their tight end one, pretty much their receiver one, I would say. He's coming off a strong season last year. He got almost 80 yards a game, 5 touchdowns he racked up, should be a huge red zone target for UCLA, and definitely should catch a fair amount of balls there. So he's a core play for me on Saturday. Carrick Wheatfall, another Fresno State guy. Again, these guys are huge favorites and should blow UConn out. There should be plenty of, pieces of pie to go around for everybody. Wheatfall should definitely be in the mix and get some ample targets. Nebraska. So Samori Toure, he's a grad transfer from Montana. He lit it up in 1AA at Montana. Obviously a veteran guy, a presence. He's got big playmaking ability. I think this guy is really, really, really good. He's going to make Nebraska's offense a lot better if Adrian Martinez can just get the goddamn ball to him. So I like this kid a lot. Cameron Ross at UConn, 4,800 is another guy that, I have a little bit of interest in. Again, game should be pretty lopsided, I would think. However, that means UConn should have to throw the ball. If he's their number one receiver, why wouldn't he get targets, right? And be able to hit that 4,800 value. He received 8 targets a game last season. So I like him as someone who could definitely produce and get some points for us here on Saturday. Omar Manning, he's another guy from Nebraska. So Manning's a little bit riskier, I think, than Toure. Manning, he's bounced around a little bit. So he was a top recruit coming out of high school, went to Texas A&M, left Texas A&M, became a top JC recruit, chose Nebraska over Florida and some other schools. So there's no doubt about it that this guy has some talent here. I think he's someone that I'm willing to take a flyer on. And then same thing for Cam Brown, former 4-star recruit. Cam Brown is the A&M Aggie who transferred. Look, both Omar Manning and Cam Brown are deep dive, bottom of the barrel type plays. At this price tag, you do not need a lot to pay off. Both of these guys are big play threats. I think UCLA and Nebraska do need to open up the offense quite a bit this year. What better way than one of them or both of them catching, a long touchdown or a few long plays here on Saturday. So Omar Manning, Cam Brown down there, 4,000 and 3,400. I do like, and I will have in my lineups kind of across the board spread out. So that's kind of the rundown. We'll keep it short today. Under 15 minutes, 3-game slate. There's not a ton to go through, but those are just some of the guys that I am going to be on Saturday. I don't really necessarily think we need to do a deep dive breakdown at Fresno State versus UConn. And it's tough to do that without a lot of data, right? We haven't seen any film on these guys. The teams are totally different. So that's where I'm rolling. Good luck to everybody. Check out our website, dfsredzone.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out our channel. We're going to have a ton of content coming out when it comes to NFL starting next week. And until then, peace.